Hey golf fans, this is early 1981 and welcome back to the Golf Club 2019. So today, as promised, we do start our new series, which is Meet the Designer. Up first is Kirsch48. Kirsch48 is not only a talented player who dabbles on the TGC tours, he is a talented designer whose courses have featured previously on the channel, and we are going to be interviewing him and playing along with him as we review his course. So welcome along to the channel, Kirsch. Thank you very much for participating and being the first designer to take part in Meet the Designer series.
Thank you, buddy, for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. So up to date is Kirsch's latest course. It's been out for a couple of weeks and it's got fantastic plays and rating already. He's actually already got a handicap and it's currently sitting at 4.5 star views. So as you can see, the fairways are normal, greens are firm, green speeds are fast, everything's default. Me and Kirsch are both playing off the black tees, which are the longest tees, which are pin sets, which are 7,684 yards. And as always, guys, for the camera flyby purposes, pin set number 1. I am actually playing with pro clubs today, guys. I've had quite an inquest of subscribers asking me to try out the pro clubs, and just so they can see how I would use them and my thought process. I'm not really going to be talking about my thought process today, though. This is all not about gameplay. This is more about getting Kirsch is talented course out there for you guys. I guaranteed some of you have missed it, and getting his thoughts as a designer on how he designed the course. So if we're ready, Kirsch, let's ready up. Really looking forward to this one.
Let's do it.
So to some of yous, the title of the course might give a little bit away behind Kirsch's inspirations, but what was your inspirations behind designing this course, Kirsch?
So my inspiration for this particular course was sort of an Augusta National style feel, but to add my own little bit of flavor to it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys will know by the name of the course, which is Azalea, Meadows, guys, Golf and Country Club. Obviously, I'll let Kirsch explain the Azalea side and the link to Augusta.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very happy with it overall. It's I think it's my first course where I'm happy with every single hole that I made. So
that must be a good feeling as a designer.
It is, yeah, because as a designer, you're always trying to improve improve on your last course. And I think this is a course where every hole is just something that I can be proud of.
Yeah. So guys, Azalea Meadows, G&CC. Hole 1 is a par 4, playing 497 yards, stroke index 5. So Kirsch, what are you saying about this first hole?
So this first hole was built along the start of the meadow, as you can see to the left side, with the Azalea hedge to the left that runs all the way down. And it's just it's not a difficult opening hole, but it's a long hole, but it definitely lets you know what you're in store for as a player.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful looking opening hole. Certainly, straight away, I could get the Augusta feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, it's a very long par 4, this one. Monster size green here, though. Really large green. Large target.
Yeah, yes, the greens in general are quite large, but also to get the Augusta feel, the greens are quite large. But that was on purpose to be able to test your iron play. So not only do you have to hit the greens, but you have to hit them in the right spot.
Yeah. So I'm trying to fire in just this ball, just trying to get it running up towards this flag. I think we're just going to come up a bit touch long there. There you go, guys. There's what Kirsch is talking about. Look at the runoff we're getting on those greens. I mean, the greens are normal firmness, but I think it said fast. They are playing 180. So Kirsch has certainly added a challenging element to the greens there. And was that your main intention, Kirsch, was challenging greens that, like you say, is going to encourage really good iron shots into the green to be rewarded?
Absolutely. You have to be good off the tee, and you have to be good with your irons. Absolutely. But my goal when I design a course is to challenge a golfer, not brutalize them. You know.
Yeah. Like a risk reward course.
Exactly. Punish bad play, reward good play. Otherwise, no one's ever going to play your course.
That's right. You know? And as a player, mate, you know, that's something that I really like to have designers doing courses. You're going to get rewarded for good courses, good shots, and hopefully be punished for poor shots, you know. I mean, the amount of courses I've played over the years where you get punished for good shots, it doesn't engage me. But very testing opening hole there. I was fortunate to drain a 20-foot birdie.
Yeah, so beautiful putt there. Beautiful.
Start off with birdie. So we do move on to hole number 2, which is a par 4, playing 459 yards, stroke index 1. So obviously, I know a lot of guys complain, Kirsch, that the game with a stroke index the way it is, this is not the hardest hole that I made intentionally. That's a game it set at the hardest hole. Would you agree that the games gave this hole here justification that it's the hardest hole in the course, or would you say there's a hole on your course that's harder than this one?
I would say that this is definitely the hardest hole, but I think there's a couple of holes that are close second and third. But as you could see, it's a little bit easier with the wind today because it's a fade wind and we have to fade it off the tee.
Yeah.
And as you could see from the flyby, it's a tabletop green that falls off on all sides. So
very challenging.
Definitely,
yeah. Like Kirsch says, we've got a 14 mile per hour wind here, but this is actually playing in our favour because if not, we would have to either club down a good bit, which I don't think you would want to do, or fade the ball around this tree. So I'm just going to use the wind here, guys. Pulled that one a little bit left. It looks like I'm going to be joining Kirsch in the heavy rough, and that's something he said you don't want to do in this course is miss the fairway, and I think we're both going to be obscured by this tree here, Kirsch.
Oh yeah, and this is where Azalea Meadows can get you. If you're out of position, it's tough to get back in position. As I said,
this rough is brutal, Kirsch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I cut the rough so that it's penal, because the way that I mowed the fairways are forgiving enough to hit them, where that if you miss a shot, you're gonna get punished for it. Yeah. That's a beautiful recovery, by the way.
It was. That was a punch shot. I had no other option. I had to keep it below the tee. I got a very favourable kick there, and it is going to set me up.
Let's see what I can do
for a birdie here, a 17-footer. But like Kirsch says, the greens are very challenging here. And he's on about the tabletop. We'll just zoom out of it. But once again, it's a monster-sized green. But that is the tabletop element that he's on about. And if you're short, the ball's going to roll back to you. And if it's long, it's going to run off as well. So I really love that. I love challenging courses.
Challenging, not ridiculous.
Yes, not ridiculous. That's a good way to put it.
Although some golfers who play it might agree because everyone's got their own taste, but can't please everybody.
It's everyone's own preference, isn't it? But I certainly like to play a course that's going to reward me for good shots, but challenge me at the same time. So, how long have you been designing courses for then, Kirsch?
Since about Golf Club 1, so for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, so you're a veteran. How many courses would you roughly estimate you've designed in that time?
About 75, I'd guess.
Yeah, and you've already touched upon it, that this is your best course in your opinion to date.
Statistically wise and opinion wise, yes, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what about hole 3 here, Kirsch? This is the first of the par 3s.
Yeah, I always like to have a par 3 in there that's longer, and as you can see, this one's long in the 200 range. I always like to have, because generally a golf course has 4 par 3s, so I always like to make them play different distances to make sure that every golfer hits a certain club in the bag.
Yeah, variation's the key, isn't it, mate?
Yes, and that's an important key for all designers. Incorporate a variety of holes. Is one way that you can make your courses
Yeah, I mean, I just can't
Courses
get over the size
feel
of the
more
greens
real.
here, and it's a beautiful stadium area you've created around this third green here, Kirsch. It really is.
Yeah. So this is where the course gets its name. I wanted it to be surrounded by the meadow, and I felt like the stadium in the back was a good way to sort of enclose you around the meadow on this hole.
Yeah.
So I really think this hole came together very well. It's a very simple hole, but I think it's effective.
Yeah, it is, mate. Simple but effective. You've absolutely nailed what I was going to say there, but it really is a stunning looking course, Kirsch. I really like your planting, the course layout so far. Clearly can tell that you know your way around the designer setup, how clean and how everything's been created and sculpted. It really is nice. So I do tap that in for my par.
I short-sighted myself to the left, and I'm going to make a bogey, I think.
Well, like you say, mate, that's what this course is going to do to you if you don't play a good shot, which I think is fantastic. But we've already said that your inspiration for this course is Augusta, Kirsch. Has this been a solo project, or have you had people in behind the scenes helping you design this course, or?
So I had most of the creative process was me. 99% of it was me, but occasionally I did have a couple of consultants to sort of give me feedback on the holes, make sure I was on the right track. That's another tip for designers as well, is that you can think you have a great course, and ultimately you want to design what you want to create because it's your course. But I think it's always good if you want to make a course that people are going to be happy with, get player feedback.
Yeah, that's there you go, guys. There's some great tips and great insights. But wow, Kirsch, I'm just looking on in amazement at hole 4 here. This is a beautiful looking hole, this one, pal.
Yes, and you'll notice that I was talking about variety, and this is another hole where it sort of changes things up a bit in terms of views and backdrops. So we've sort of gone away from the meadow for a bit, and now we're out towards the lake that the course is surrounded by on the outskirts.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, look at the amount of bunkers here. I mean, these bunkers, to get the depth of them and the position and that of them, Kirsch, and is that time consuming?
Very.
Is it? Yeah.
Very. And I would argue that I am not the best bunker designer out there either. Every designer has their own strengths and weaknesses. But I would say that bunkers for me is not one of them. So I just tried to do the best that I could with them. But for all the designers out there, don't try to be perfect at everything. Don't try to be perfect at everything because it's not possible. Every designer has their own strengths and weaknesses. Personally, I think my strength is water, making water look good and planting, whereas some of the other areas like maybe bunker design maybe isn't. But that's another tip is embrace your strengths and work on your weaknesses. Don't try to do too much too quickly. Otherwise, you're going to put too much pressure on yourself and not enjoy the process. And that's the key, is to enjoy the process.
That's some great advice there, guys. But there you see, I've picked up another birdie. But the run out we're getting on these greens, Kirsch, is insane. It's obviously going by the way you've contoured the greens. It's something you've done intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can see that's probably why the firmness of the greens are normal and not firm, because I don't think anything would sit down on these if they were firm with the current speeds.
No, I don't think so. And that's another thing too, is playability is more important than anything else. Because if your course isn't playable, no one's going to play it. So
yeah,
one of the most crucial elements to a course is obviously to make it look as good as you can, but playability is more important than difficulty. I find that too many times designers want a certain difficulty they have a certain difficulty in mind, and I'm guilty of this as well. But you learn as you go that playability and challenge is more important than overall difficulty. Otherwise, people won't play it.
Yeah, that's some great points there, mate. And speaking from a player's side, the fence as well. I agree. I mean, I've played some courses that look fantastic, but they just play horrible. You know, and it's getting that balance in between how good they look, but also, like you say, the main thing, how they play, and that's a critical thing. This is why we play the game, to enjoy the course.
Yeah, the key to designing is you want people to come back. You don't want to turn people off.
Yeah.
Make a course that people want to come back to, not say I never want to play that again.
Totally.
And it takes time to learn. You know, my first 70 courses that I made, I'd only say about 7 of them were good, and those 7 were courses that Lee has reviewed on the channel before. So you guys didn't see the other 70. So and I'm glad you didn't. So
well, like you say, mate, it's trial by error. You know, it's a learning curve.
Absolutely.
But wow, once again, this whole 5-year monster par 5 here at Kirsch, but you've just nailed the water, mate. You're saying that you feel your bunkers aren't your strong point. I mean, bunkers look fine to me. You know, we're not going into them much detail, but wow, the way you've incorporated the water around this section of the course is just, it's fantastic, mate.
Right. Yeah, and it's just I'm a sucker for water, and I just like courses with a lot of water. In fact, I think that on this course there's water on 15 holes, either in visual or on play or in play. And the good thing about water for all the designers out there is there's a planting meter where there's a limit, and if you're a designer, you know this. Water saves planting and detail. So I always like to use water where I can because it saves detail in the planting meter.
Wow, so you're getting some great tips here from a clearly very talented designer who's improved with each course. But as you see there, guys, I find the heavy rough from the tee shot. It's taken me a while to get used to these pro clubs. They're certainly different to the Masters. But it's now left me a lot of work to do here to look for birdie. So with the run out we're getting here, guys, I'm just going to try and de-loft this a little touch and kick this on from the front of the fairway and get it running up towards the flag. Kirsch is in a bit of better position than me. Looks like he's played 2 good shots on laying up. I'm pulling things majorly here, but with the pro clubs, guys, as you're seeing, there's not the punishment there is with the Masters. It's probably going to come up a bit short here unless we catch this slope. No, didn't fully catch that slope. We're a good bit away from it. Ball needed to probably run out another 7 feet there to catch that slope. There. But as you can see, the greens are very testing and challenging here, guys. This is a 41-foot putt down 4 inches. This is going to be tough. Just want to get this close.
You were saying something about the stroke index not always being accurate. This is actually one of the cases where I don't think the stroke index 17 on this hole is actually accurate. Because as you could see, on this par 5, it's not a guaranteed birdie.
I would agree. I would agree. I mean, I'm not sure how it works, Kirsch. I think it goes by the scores in each hole. I'm not sure how the game generates it. But, I mean, I got punished there. There's Kirsch on about that this course will punish you. It will reward you. I've been rewarded for a couple of good shots, and I've been punished for a poor shot on the tee box there. And like Kirsch says, it's not a guaranteed birdie here. But hole 6, Kirsch. What are we saying about this one? It's another stunning looking hole.
So hole 6, once again, variety. Even though it's on the lake, it's the first hole where the lake comes in on both sides. So it really tests you. But once again, as you could see with the slope down towards the pin, if you can utilize the slope to your advantage and get in the fairway, hit a draw off the tee, you can make a birdie here.
Yeah.
So, one thing I always like to do with my courses is don't try to deceive the golfer. Tell the golfer what's right in front of him or her. I always like courses, and this is my personal preference. I always tend to like courses that are right out in front of you that tell you how to play them. Give you options, but there's a certain way that you have to play it.
Yeah, you've got, like you say, you've got options. There's different ways you can play it, you know, whatever you feel's your strongest point. But like Kirsch was saying there, I had to play a little touch of fade there, guys. But what I like there, Kirsch, is the way you've sloped the fairway. There's a lot of designers that wouldn't have put that curve in it so the ball comes back onto the fairway after a difficult tee shot. You know, a lot of guys wouldn't have thought about putting there and the ball would have probably ran out into the heavy rough. But it's the finer details, mate, that you've added to this course. It's really so far making it really enjoyable for me.
If you want to make your course playable and fun to play, like I always say, punish a bad shot, reward a good shot. The fade, the draw off the tee is already difficult enough. To be able to miss that big bunker on the right and to be able to miss the water on the left and to have to draw it towards the water, because you're already having to draw it towards the water with the water on the left. So it's already a very difficult tee shot. So if the golfer pulls it off, the last thing that he or she wants to see is to hit a shot that's required and have it be punished. So
very true, mate. I've just came up short there with my approach shot, which is rare, but it was a wind. The wind held me up more than I anticipated.
Oh, I've hit a good one here. This could be good.
Has that got the legs? Is it going to turn? This looks on track. Oh, what a putt that is, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. That was over 30 feet we've drained that putt, and we do pick up our third birdie off the round there. Fantastic putt there after just coming up short. But yeah, really enjoyable course so far, Kirsch. I mean, it's really, really enjoyable, and I'm glad that it's got good feedback and it's handicapped rated. I mean, imagine that the exposure here that on the channel will create, that it can only go to helping your sell and getting more plays as well. And like you say, what a designer wants is feedback, you know?
Absolutely. And even being an experienced designer, don't be afraid to get feedback, because it's because ultimately you want to make a course that people are going to play. So ask people what they think, and ultimately it matters what you think, but because it's your course, whatever you decide to do. But if you want people to play it, get their feedback. Feedback never hurts, and you don't have to agree with that feedback, but let them.
But just looking at this whole 7 here, Kirsch, with the dual waterfalls, mate, absolutely stunning, absolute beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is one of the signature holes on the front 9 for sure.
I'm just zooming out a bit because I know some people will say, "Oh, how'd you get across to the green there?" There you go, guys. Kirsch has even put a path going round that little creek, round the grandstands. But what a how long did I would imagine these waterfalls took a good time to lay out, Kirsch, did they?
Yeah, they did take a while. They did. Yeah, I would guess that these 2 waterfalls took about 15 hours.
Wow. There we go,
if I had to guess. The course as a whole took me 150.
As in total, this whole course took you 150 hours from start to finish.
Yeah. Definitely triple digits.
Oh, we got an ace. Definitely. We got an ace. Oh, wow. We're about 2 inches away from the hole in one there, guys. Used the wind and the contours of the green there to perfection. And Kirsch, there you go. That sums it up. I mean, that was a very deliberate shot for me, and I have been rewarded for it, using the contours of the green there, you know. And we do pick up another birdie.
Because, you know, I know designers might be turned off. Some designers might be turned off by the fact that, oh my gosh, you know, some people are shooting 17 under on my course. You know, that's not what I intended. That's not realistic.
No, but I can't see many people shooting 17 under in this course, mate, to be fair.
Actually, a lot of people have, believe it or not.
Has there been 17 under shot on here, is there?
Oh, yeah, I think the best
but is that
score
from
is
the back tees and the default settings? Because I obviously you can change the settings, and I do know a lot of people do that. Like, they'll put the greens to very soft, they'll go front tees just to get good low scores, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So, but like I say, you can't stop good play. You can't punish good play. So it's
No, mate.
if
I
you
mean, the
want
amount
your
of talented players that are out there, is
oh yeah,
insane. Um, is this for your par, Kirsch? Is it? Get your par?
bogey, I think.
Bogey. Bogey.
Yeah, I short-sighted myself.
Yeah.
And again, that's the difference. All I did was short-side myself. I didn't even go in the water.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between a 4 and a 2.
So we move on to hole number 8 here, guys. This is a shorter par 4, playing 439 yards, stroke index 13. Once again, the water is clearly evident, Kirsch, but it just brings a fantastic feel to the course, and it just looks majestic, mate.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. And you see this rock wall that goes around the back of it here, and the one that was on 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So that rock wall goes from all the way from around 5 actually to 6 to 7 to 8 and then to 9, and then all the way around the 9th green.
Wow, that is impressive.
And each one of those rocks on those 4 holes has to go in one at a time. So that's just the time it takes if you want to make it look good.
That was a drive. Wow, I can still hear the echo.
So obviously our second shot's going to be playing across the water, but that's a fantastic swing there. That's probably my first laser beam with the pro clubs this round.
Looks like around
The wind's really fluctuating out here for us.
So the one cool idea that I had with this hole was I had every hole where it was either a dog leg or a straight hole, but I thought to myself, this would be a perfect spot to incorporate a double dog leg. So that's kind of where I got the idea from.
Yeah, well, it's worked out really well, Kirsch.
And that's the thing, too, for designers as well. The longer you take, the better it will look.
Yeah. I always say that in a lot of my videos. I know guys that rush out courses. They'll probably do a course in about 10 hours and then say, how come my course isn't getting plays, or how come people are not liking it, I mean, here's Kirsch saying, what did you say, 150 hours?
100, about, yeah.
There you go, guys. I mean, that's the kind of time you need to put into recreate a course or design a course of this quality.
And obviously, it depends on the type of course. Some courses are going to be made quicker than others, but time is the one most important asset that you could have in making one of these.
I mean, we've not touched upon the theme here. I mean, it's clearly evident to me in the season pros that this is a boreal theme. Am I right?
Yes, this is a boreal
theme. Yeah.
And I start everything from scratch. So I start with a blank flat template. So everything you see here is done by hand. Put in.
Wow, Kirsch, hole 9. Wow, it's another monster par 5, but wow. Unbelievable. I take it that's the hospitality area out there, Kirsch, is it as well? The marquees and that?
Yes.
Out there in the water. What a touch that is, pal. Wow, talk us through this hole.
So I have to give credit to one of my consultants on that hole. He actually told me where to put in the grandstands, so I have to give him credit there. But originally the 9s were flipped, and so this used to be hole 18 instead of 9. But
I was going to say I was going to say that it looks very familiar, but it looks like a hole I would probably use as my finishing hole, because obviously you've got is that the clubhouse that's up there as well?
Yes. Yep. But we decided to actually flip the 9s because I thought what was the front 9 made a better back 9, and let me know if you agree when we finish. But we ultimately made the decision to flip the 9s, and so I'm like, I need to put in hospitality here, because it's the 9th.
Well, I think it's a fantastic addition, mate.
Yeah.
I really do.
And he just said, we'll just do some island grandstands, and he's actually the one that put those in there. So, thanks, pal.
It's a fantastic touch, mate.
Appreciate it.
So, do you have a signature hole, like a favorite hole of this course?
Nice.
I do, yes. 17, which is why which is why I actually flipped the 9s, because it made a better 17th than it did an
okay,
8th.
mate. Oh, well, so we'll get your insights and why that's your favourite hole when we do get there. But I've set myself up for a short approach shot here, Kirsch.
Quick little side note, if you go to the overall overhead map, you can see that this hole is actually a double green shared with number 18. If you look on the map.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I've zoomed out there. That's very nice. I mean, it's quite a common thing now to find that guys are using dual greens. Is that to save up in space as well, Kirsch? A lot of designers do that for their meters so they don't run out of space, or do you think it's just creativity?
For me, it was both. To save space and just to add a nice feature. Again, variety. So sometimes by being creative and doing things like this, it can actually be a great creative choice and help you in the long run as well.
Yeah.
So.
But I managed to pick up my birdie there, guys. I think that's us. Is it 5, 6 under? I'm not sure. But the par 5s are certainly very, very challenging, Kirsch, with the distance on them. You're not going to get guaranteed birdies there, depending on how the wind's helping you or hindering you.
Right.
But this is a quick question from a few guys on Twitter and the TGC forums, Kirsch. It's way off golf, but it's something we're going to ask every designer now. What is your favourite cheese? Very random question, mate. I know. What did you say? Cheddar. Ah, right. Okay.
Cheddar.
Hole number 10.
Cheddar cheese. There you go. There you go. The community's asked, and we've delivered. So hole 10 here, Kirsch. Monster par 4.
Yes, and this was the one hole where I had a little bit of controversy. Obviously because of the length, but my justification for making it a 4 was every time in playtesting, even into the wind, we were always reaching the green in 2. So it was either a ridiculously easy 5 or a challenging 4, and obviously we went with the latter. We felt that it was okay to have one long hole.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. You know, like you say, you're wanting to design a course that guys aren't going to go and shoot up dead easily. You know, they're going to have to earn the right to shoot low here. And oh, I could be in trouble here. I've pulled that left unfast, but I certainly get the Augusta vibe here in this whole Kirsch. It's due to the colour themes, the bridge work, the bunkering, obviously the meadow bushes, the azalea trees, bushes, whatever you call them, and you've really created it well, mate. It's just like I say, I've played a good few many of your courses, and I must agree that this is your best course to date by a fair bit.
And I would say that we haven't even gotten to the best part, so I think it's only going to get better from here, if you can believe it.
Brilliant.
Again, I am a little bit biased, but
getting a few fasts here, but with the pro clubs you don't seem to get punished as much. This should work out well. Should start to turn down the slope towards the pin slightly. But there's that run out again that we've talked about, and that set up a very, very good birdie opportunity for me, albeit very fortunate because it came off a poor swing. But I mean, you can see why Kirsch has made the greens as long as he has, guys, because the run out you're getting here is incredible at times. You've really got to think your shot selection over it, firing into these greens, Kirsch.
I'm just gonna have to disconnect my controller, buddy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, don't apologize.
Controller does this weird thing where the golfer will randomly move on the greens without me doing anything. So I'm just gonna disconnect real quick.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You do what you have to do, pal. But I really hope you're enjoying this video, guys. I know it's going to be a longer video than normal, but if you are a designer and you would like to take part in this Meet the Designer series, please reach out to me either on YouTube, Twitter, or I am now on the TGC forums as well. We're just waiting for Kirsch to reconnect his controller and see if he can hold this birdie. Is this a putt for birdie you've got, Kirsch, here? Lengthy putt for birdie?
This is a putt for birdie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Sorry about that, guys.
No, these things happen, mate. These things are happen. Don't apologise. We're just watching your ball run up towards the hole now. Has he hit it? He's just going to come up a little bit
No.
short.
But see, you can see why I made this a 4, because that would have been an eagle putt, and I didn't even hit that great of an iron shot. So.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
The one downside to this hole is if you're a beginner club player into the wind, you're not going to get there in 2. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but I think you time defend to find out that beginner players will play off the shorter tee boxes. You know, they're probably not going to be playing from the tips. But hole number 11, Kirsch, looks like a slight dog leg right. Par 4, 429 yards. What's your thoughts on this one?
This was actually one of the first holes that I built. So this was the sort of hole that established the theme for me of the course. So this was actually the starting point, even though it's hole 11. Hole 10 and 11, the one you just saw, those are the first 2 holes that I built. And so that's the theme that was established with it. So I really do like these 2 holes.
Fairway's very, very slim here, isn't it? Quite a tight fairway here compared to some of the other holes.
It is, yeah. It is, because I did have the intention of making these the starting holes, which obviously didn't happen because we flipped the 9s. But I always sort of like to give the golfer a tough start. So even though we flipped them, this is why you see the sort of some difficult holes in the middle of the round, because these were the first holes that I built.
Yeah.
But I still do like the hole overall. I really do, because it tests you like every other one.
I don't think I've played a hole yet, mate, that's not actually tested my golfing ability, you know? I mean, and that's what I love as a golfer. I want to be challenged. The reward for me as a golfer is playing a course, knowing that I've played well, and I've had to play well to earn shooting low, you know? And you've certainly achieved that so far. Got a 14-foot putt here. This one's going to break quite hard to the right, but these greens, guys, are lightning quick. You just need to touch the ball. Watch how major this turns the last few feet. And that's a fantastic putt for a birdie. We are really putting well. And we do move to 8 under par.
Sitting at 8 under.
Beautiful putt there.
Thanks very much, Kirsch. You Kirsch him with a birdie as well, guys. So we do move on to hole 12. I think this is the second of the par 3s, Kirsch, is it? Third par 3?
This would be the third.
Third par 3.
Third.
Look at the contours in that green there. Wow, you certainly don't want to be short right.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of square footage, it's the biggest green on the course.
Yeah, I mean, look at it, man. I mean, the greens are massive, but why? It's like an island in its own the zip code or postcode. It's
yeah.
Do you know what though, Kirsch? I think it works well with the course, and you've had to probably make these greens slightly on their large side due to the runoffs with the different pin locations that you've got with the pin set 1s through 4, you know.
And bigger greens allow for more diverse hole locations. One quick thing I want to mention is the waterfall on the right here.
Yeah,
this
we noticed
waterfall
that. Beautiful.
Took forever. It didn't take me as long as the 2 on number 6, but as you can see, it's much grander in size.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So is this the closest leak you're going to get to that waterfall, Kirsch, is on 12?
Yes, yes. Because of number 6, where you're right on the waterfall, you know, where it's right behind you, I wanted to have a waterfall still, but I wanted it to be more in the background and not so distracting.
Yeah, I can see exactly why you've done that. I'm hoping I fired this right at the pin with a bit of run out here. Could be close to an ace here, Kirsch. Oh, wow. Just ran inches past the left-hand side for an ace there.
Oh, and I'm down in the goalie where you do not want to be. Still puttable,
I made sure I kept my ball away from there.
Still puttable, but this this goalie that I'm in here, I don't know if you can see my ball.
I'm going to have to zoom out a bit here, mate. I've putted in, so I'm sure we'll see your ball travel from some distance. It'll probably come from the right-hand side of the screen here, but yeah, certainly didn't want to be
oh, my thumb slipped and it's coming back to me. Yeah, but this little goalie here to the right of the pin, this little goalie, was actually inspired by the Valley of Sin on the 18th hole at St. Andrews.
Wow.
So it's not necessarily that the hole was inspired, but sometimes even little features on the hole can be inspired from other courses around the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic, mate. It's great to hear that as well, that you do take inspiration from other courses as well.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're running dry on ideas, because you do get burned out, sometimes just thinking of a hole can help you incorporate a certain feature into the course.
Yeah. So is that quite often for a designer where you get probably, like, what do they call it? Writer's block. Probably, what would you call it as a designer? Creative. You struggle to get creative juices to design a course, and is that maybe when you would look at something?
Flowing?
Yeah. So can that happen quite often, Kirsch, yeah?
Oh yeah, almost on a daily basis if you're struggling.
Yeah.
But
wow, look at this. This looks quite reminiscent of Pebble Beach here, all these bunkers here. Hole 13 is par 5.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because this green was actually inspired from the 14th at Pebble Beach.
Oh,
so
wow, honestly. Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah, you know the tabletop green, the 14th.
I know
the
exact one that you're talking about, mate, and I'm delighted that I've picked up on that.
So you got and these bunkers here off the tee were actually inspired from Bethpage. You know,
Bethpage Black, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I think you reviewed that on the channel. So.
I did, yeah. But this, once again, tight fairway here.
This hole is a mixture of Bethpage and Pebble Beach, and then this is what came together.
So if Pebble Beach and Bethpage Black are a baby, this is the kind of outcome. Yeah, this is the outcome you're going to get for a hole. It looks fantastic, Kirsch. You really have done a fantastic job.
Sweet. Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I was always asking my friends what they thought of the course, and they always told me that it was... I've had some people that might be biased towards me because they were my friends, but one of them told me that, and I don't know if I agree with them because I'm certainly not the greatest designer out there, but some of my friends told me that this was one of their favorite courses in the game. So it's always flattering to hear comments like that, even if they might be a bit biased. So it just makes you feel like it was time well spent.
Well, like you know, with me, pal, I certainly try and give as honest feedback as I can, and I've got nothing that I would change with the course so far, you know. And just because I would change something anyway doesn't mean the next guy would change it. You know, it's all down to opinions and how players enjoy the course. But I am certainly enjoying this, Kirsch, and it's your best work by a mile, in my opinion. So to date, it really is. You've absolutely nailed it.
And I think that was because. I think that was because I took my time.
Yeah.
And again, the number one key to making your course look good is take the time necessary to make it look right.
Yeah. Just as Kirsch says that, I drop in my eagle from 32 feet. I am really putting well at now, guys. We did say, Kirsch, that you're not wanting anyone shooting 17 under, but I'm maybe going to get close to that depending on how things go. But what a fantastic course, guys. I'm getting rewarded for good shots. I've been punished for poor shots, as you've seen when we missed the fairway and we had to play a punch shot out back on. And there, oh, was that just your birdie it slid past there, Kirsch?
Yeah, that was my birdie.
But no, this is a fantastic course. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm not playing well at all, but see, that's the difference in the course right there. 2 over versus 9 under, and the only thing that's off for me is putting and iron play.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about the gameplay, mate. This is all about your course. But hole 14, par 4, 451 yards, stroke index 10. Once again, we've got the bunkers and the water and just coming together. And it just, everything fits in so well, Kirsch.
And I do have to give a shout out to another consultant. He knows who he is if he's watching this later on. And he should know because I told him to tune in. But he actually gave me advice on the bunkers to make them look wavy like that, sort of give it a Pinehurst look. And once I started doing that, I agreed with him and I kept that theme. So thanks for the
They
tip,
are
pal.
very, very similar to Pinehurst, mate. Yeah, now you touch upon that. So once again...
And I might be finding one of them. Yep.
Once again, tight fairways. Got very little margin for error here. I mean, if you're struggling with your swing tempo or swing line, you are going to be punished in this course, like Kirsch said, you know. I've managed to find the centre of the fairway.
Okay, looks like we have around 155 yards.
For me, it's all about dispersity rate. You know, if you have a longer hole, wider fairway. If you have a shorter hole, narrower fairway. So it's, you know, it's all about dispersity for me. Ratio. It's all about ratio.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there's lots of designers out there, Kirsch, that will be noting down these things that you're saying and taking notes on them. I know I would be if I was a designer.
Again, what I say isn't gospel. It's just the way that I go about designing. Everyone's different, so
I like the way this
if you're happy with the way that your process goes, it's just the way that my process is. So, you know, don't take anything I say as gospel, because what I say is only the way that I do things. There's no wrong way to design a course, because you could do anything you want in the designer.
I actually tried to come up short with my approach shot there, and it just showed you the run out in the greens. But once again, my puttings came to the rescue, and we've sunk a tricky 14-foot putt, and we do move to 12 under par. But I'm really enjoying this, guys. I hope this series does take off well. Like I say, it's something we have done in the past on the channel back in the golf club days. I think we did 1 or 2 on the golf club too. But let's move on to hole number 15, Kirsch. This is a shorter par 4. This is probably the shortest par 4 in the course.
Surprisingly, it isn't.
It isn't, no.
Surprisingly, it isn't. But it is one of the shortest holes on the course. Right around this time, it was because this was the front 9 before I switched to 9s.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of space because I knew where I wanted the holes behind it to go. So this was really the only area that I could fit in a hole here, because if you look behind you, behind the hole, if you want to zoom out, you'll notice that the holes that we were playing, I think it was 4 and 5 and 6, are actually directly behind this hole. So,
oh yeah, we're seeing them right behind the tee box.
Yeah, right behind the green, actually.
Oh, right behind the green, sorry.
Yeah, right behind the green, you'll see that it was the holes that we played on the front 9, the holes by the lake.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing the lake off there in the distance. Yeah. So this is the holes you flipped round.
Right. Yeah. And so this was the area that I had to build this hole, because the other holes on the front 9 were behind it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can certainly see why you do it, and I think it's paid off. You can certainly justify your decision to do what you've done.
And it also allows for variety. Yeah, I had to cram a little hole in here because of where the other holes were. But again, variety works in my favor, which is important in a short par 4. So.
Great contact.
That's the thing about designing too, is don't try and force something if it's not going to work. Work with what you've got, because less is often more.
All right, here we go. This one for...
So my pitch shot just running out. You're just seeing a run out in these greens, and I think that the normal firmness is just a great fit for this. If this course was firm, I think you would have a lot of golfers pulling their hair out, Kirsch, with their approach shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I designed this course, and it makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes. So, but that's a testament of a testing track to me, because if the designer can struggle on his own course, then
Okay, let's finish
then I'd say job well done from a designer perspective.
Yeah,
From an
that's a good way to look at it, mate. Yeah, without a doubt. So we both scored pars there, though. So, hole 16, another long par 5, playing 598 yards, stroke index 16. I really like the lighting on this one here, Kirsch.
I do too. Yeah, it's where the I actually struggled with the lighting very much on this course, and I really didn't find a lighting setting that I was happy with until I had about 14 holes in, just because of all the trees and new holes coming in and things like that. So just tinker with it. Like we said earlier, it's trial and error, and don't publish it until you're happy with it. You know, take your time, because time will work in your favor.
If you could give a designer, doesn't matter if they're new or considering coming into designing, or if they've been designing for years like yourself, if you could give the designer one tip and one tip only, what would that tip be, Kirsch?
It might sound a bit cliche and a bit unexpected, but have fun. Because if you're not having fun with the process, you're going to lose your patience real quickly. And so in order to design, in order to create art, as I call it, you have to want to create it. And if you want to get a course done in 10 hours, it's probably not going to work very well. So the one thing that I would say, if you want to create a good course that's going to get recognition and plays, just have fun and enjoy the process, because you're going to need that as you get burned out, because they do take a long time.
So Kirsch's words of wisdom is have fun, guys.
Have fun, and there's no right way to do something, because it's your course.
So I'd seen there, guys, I tried to play a fade shot onto the green there, but just didn't apply enough fade, and I'm now in a bit of trouble here in the heavy rough. Kirsch has really deliberately made the rough so it's difficult to play out of. And rightfully so. If I hit the rough, I want to be punished.
And there are a few cases where you can get a good lie in there, but I cut the rough really thick because, you know, I do want to, as you say, punish a bad shot, but reward a good one. And sometimes just making your rough a little bit thicker in the designer can allow you to do that. You don't have to trick up your golf course by putting pins on red slopes or things like that. It could be something just as simple as mowing the rough a little bit thicker, which there is an option to do that in the designer.
Well, I just missed my birdie putt there. We are hopefully going to convert this 5-footer for Partl. Here's Kirsch's ball coming in. We get a great view of this. I think he's just overshot me. Have you?
You know, sometimes you hit it and you're like, how is that fast? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I get that a lot, mate. Don't worry about it. It's quite a common theme. You get a lot of randomness as well. I mean, I don't know how well our connection is, as I'm sure you guys can tell. Kirsch is in America. I'm from Scotland, so we probably don't have the stablest of connections. But just for the viewers, Kirsch, is there anything you want to say personally about yourself?
I mean, I've been enjoying golf clubs since I was about 18. I'm 20 now. And when I'm not in college, I'm designing in my free time and playing golf. So this is what I do when I'm not in school. Maybe that's why I'm able to practice and hone my craft. But yeah, it's just something I enjoy when I'm not in school. And it's just fun to create courses like that people can enjoy, which is why I love to do it.
Great to hear it. So look out for Kirsch's future work, guys. I'm sure he'll be working on a masterpiece shortly. Have you got anything in the fire, Kirsch, that you're planning without giving too much away?
I do.
Well, we keep posted to it and keep me informed as well. So, Kirsch, I do believe this is the hole we've been waiting for, the signature hole.
Yes, and
17th.
I'm actually not going to say anything because I think you might be able to see why it's my favorite.
Oh, wow, look at this, guys. I mean, wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mountain views off there in the distance. We've got rock pools. Wow. Look at that pin location well as well there, Kirsch, tucked right on the right-hand side. Now, I could be... This hole looks fairly similar to me, Kirsch. Could I be right in saying that you've took inspiration from a famous course here?
Got Sawgrass. Yep.
Yeah, it's 100%. I mean, it didn't hit me instantly. I'm not going to lie, but it does. You can see it. I mean, it's fantastic, Kirsch, and you can see why this is a signature hole. Is that Kirsch in the water?
Yep.
So I'm just looking at it here. I'm trying to use the slope here. There is a backstop if you're long here, but I'm going to try and use that slope to my advantage here if I need it. But I am going to... No, do you know what? I'm not lofting up that hybrid. That hybrid is a horrible club to control. I'm really de-lofting this 5-iron here, guys. Try to find this slope and run it down.
It was almost a 3 the hard way. I almost holed out for 3 after I hit it in the water.
It's a good swing. I'm just trying to find this slope on the green and let it work down towards the pin. I'm not sure if we've found it. I think we've just came up a bit short there, guys, with that wind that's going to trickle back a bit. And I'm being punished. Look at that. I'm probably going to have about a 50-foot putt here for birdie. 60 feet.
One thing I like about this hole too is it's so simple, but if you look to your left, there's a little rock fountain that feeds into the rock pools around the green.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
you'll get punished in this hole here if you don't play it well. I mean, to me, this looks downhill, Kirsch, but it's not saying so on my information it's given me. Certainly looks as if it's downhill.
uphill and then downhill.
It's probably leveled out.
Yeah, it equals itself out.
I'm sure we'll soon find out. It should start to turn towards the... We haven't, have we? I tell you what, Kirsch, I've just drained a 60-foot putt.
I saw
60-foot putt for birdie. Wow! Oh, look at that water feature up there in the rock, Kirsch. Really like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I was alluding to. The rock fountain that feeds into the rock pool.
That is a fantastic touch. So there's a lot of hidden things here, guys. So keep your eyes peeled, because if Kirsch hadn't pointed that out and I didn't have that view there, we would have missed that. But absolutely fantastic, and we are approaching the final hole here, guys, but this has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed my time out here with Kirsch. I can't thank him enough for hanging out and being the first designer to come on the Meet the Designer series. But look at this, here we are. Kirsch has kept it. I thought that the last par 4 was going to be the shortest, but we do have one here. It's playing 305 yards, stroke index 14, Kirsch. So what's your final thoughts on this hole here, Kirsch? Talk us through it.
So
why is this the final hole?
I wanted to do this because I felt that the golfer might be able to end on a high note, you know, by driving the green and making an eagle, or going in the church pews and, you know, struggling to make a par. So I think it's a very risk-reward course, so I figured why not end with a risk-reward hole, which is ultimately why I flipped the 9s as well.
I love it, and I love the thought process behind it. With me and the pro clubs here, guys, I'm going to take it on. I'm not sure if I've got enough club here with that wind. It could just be enough to hold me up in the water, but as you can see, I'm playing a major draw shot here. This is going to... It's either going to work out well, or like Kirsch says, we're going to be in the drink or in the church pews. No idea what's going to happen here. I've swung it beautifully.
Primarily, though...
I tell you what, Kirsch, I think I've played a blinder
primarily,
here.
Though, I did flip the 9s to make that hole that we just played the 17th rather than the 8th.
Ah,
and
okay.
I think I made the right decision.
Yeah, listen, mate, as a course connoisseur, I'm going to refer to myself. I think you've done a fantastic job with this. I mean, I'm no designer. I wouldn't know where to start on the designing side of things, but I don't have the patience. But if it wasn't for guys like you out there, mate, this game would have been dead in the water long ago. So from me as a player, I can't thank you as a designer enough, mate. But you've nailed this course, Kirsch. I will certainly be giving it a 5-star. There's nothing I would change. I think it's great to have a designer on here and explain his reasoning behind each hole and insight into what he's looked to achieve. Has he achieved it? You've achieved everything you've said to me that you wanted this course to be, so you've done a great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's a great course to start off with. So has this scooter got enough on it? Whoa, I tell you what, we just missed out on that. Just missed out on that.
At the end of the day, the designers are just happy to make courses that people can enjoy, which is why we do it. We do it for the fun of it, but we also make the courses for people to play.
Yeah,
because we're always looking for something new.
There we go, guys. It's a 14 under for me. Fantastic course. I probably couldn't have played it much better, to be honest. Enjoyed playing the pro clubs. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. For me, Kirsch is a 5-star without a doubt and a favourite. Fantastic course, and like I say, it's one I'm sure many of the viewers and subscribers will go out and play. But that is it for today's video, guys. Kirsch, thank you very much for hanging out with me and giving us your thought process and the designer and what it takes to design a fantastic course like this. I hope you enjoyed your time on the channel.
Absolutely, buddy. I'm always happy to do it whenever you need
fantastic
a video.
Mate.
I'm always happy to come on.
That's
Thank
great
you for
to
having
hear.
me.
But there you go, guys. That is it for today. Until the next video, take care, peace out, and love you all. Bye.